Hello, everyone, and welcome to Composition 1 with Review. I'm your instructor, Erin O'Keefe, and this is just a quick introduction video. I'll try to keep it short, but there's quite a few things I do want to cover for this first module. So you'll see every week that I create a video like this. I encourage you to watch them. A lot of times I will answer questions that students might have about the module before they even have to send me an email. So it's really useful that way. It's a way for me to communicate with you, that kind of thing. So on the homepage, new announcements every week. I do try to post at least 2 per week. So just keep in mind that you should be regularly checking for that. You can modified notifications over here. You can have them sent to your email, that kind of thing. If that helps, just to remind you to get into the class and look and see what's going on. First thing I want you to do is click on the simple syllabus. The syllabus for the class obviously contains a lot of the policies for the class. I can see who has read the syllabus and how much of the syllabus you have read. So it's really important that you go through and look at what's going on in the class. We do have learning outcomes, and then remember that this class is a 5 credit hour class, so we have some additional outcomes that are just for Alan that are being assessed. So there is more to this class, a lot more than what is in the regular Composition 1 class. It will take you longer to complete assignments for this class, so just kind of keep that in mind. Down here toward the bottom is the specific class policies, and these are specific to me. You'll want to make sure that you're looking over the late work policy, vacation policy, and then the academic honesty and AI use policy, which I will go over again in a minute. At the very bottom of the page then is where you can acknowledge that you've read the entire syllabus. Please click on that. That is a reminder that you have read the syllabus, and also an acknowledgement, especially to the college, that you are familiar with the policies. A couple other things. So in the modules, this is the tab that you'll click on most of the time. You'll go straight into the modules tab. You do have a getting started module if you're new to Alan, and then we do have an academic honesty module. You'll notice that module 1 is locked. You cannot complete this. It won't open up for you until you've gone through the academic honesty module. So you need to start at the first page. And you need to go through each page, read the information, make sure that you're familiar with the information. There's a lot of information in here that's very important for just understanding what is considered cheating, understanding what is the consequences, understanding AI use. There are some scenarios here. I updated this first one to include AI use because a lot of students have just kind of gotten familiar with, or as part of their habit is just kind of going straight to ChatGPT for everything. And so just understanding what is considered acceptable and not unacceptable use of AI. So go through each of the scenarios, and then there's also an information about the Turnitin plagiarism report that's generated. Just so you know, and I probably should add this, students cannot see the AI report. Only instructors can, which is kind of annoying. I don't know why they have it that way, but that's what it is. So just keep that in mind because I get emails about that. And then this is just more information about AI use, and then the policy for the class again. So basically each assignment will be given a level to which AI might be used. A lot of them will fall under level 1, which basically means if you're using Grammarly or some other type of program that just, marks things that are spelled incorrectly or bad punctuation or whatever, that's fine. Everything else beyond that is not allowed. So if you are using, putting it into ChatGPT and asking it, can you make this sound more academic? That's not allowed for a level 1 assignment. Maybe for a level 2, not a level 1. So that kind of thing is something to pay attention to throughout the semester, and you will be graded accordingly. If you're using excessive AI, you will be losing a lot of points for your assignments. The main thing to remember, and I can't encourage this enough, is save your work in the form of multiple drafts. If you are falsely accused of using AI, this is the way that you prove that you didn't do it. So if you are working on something and you've got kind of the rough, squirrel brain, rough draft going, then stop what you're doing, open up a new file, copy and paste over, and then work on your revision. So don't revise in the first draft, revise in the second file that you create. So you're saving multiple files as you go through each step of the assignment. That way you have proof of your writing progress, and that's really important, especially for those of you who are doing things like using translation programs. You need to be making sure that you're saving multiple drafts. So just read through that. If you have questions as you go through, if you're not sure whether or not something you're doing can be considered AI use, you can always send me an email. At the end, there is a page that's confirmation of understanding that you understand the use of AI and the policy. Mark it as read as long as you understand it, and then you should be able to move forward. So after that point, you have information about the textbooks, and then it's going to open up. And so there are you can kind of move forward in the modules, and module 1 is now open. So you have module 1, and you also have 3 grammar quizzes. These are open all semester, but I encourage you to get them done early because they do kind of move up and down the list as more modules open. The only thing you have access to right now is module 1, and the module 2 will not open until the Friday of the first week. So the Friday before the previous modules due is when the next one opens. That means that you can't work ahead by more than just a couple of days. And the reason is because I can't keep up with grading normally. I definitely can't keep up if the whole, the whole class is open the whole semester. So it is sort of controlled how far ahead or behind you can work in the class. And that's just how I work as an instructor. So that's specific to me. But you do, if you like to work ahead, you may want to just get these done, early on in the semester. This first module, you've got a couple of just introductory assignments. You have a reflection email, and you'll notice for each assignment, there will be the instructions for the assignment, and then you'll see the AI use level for each one. And then most of them will have a rubric of some kind, either one that has points to it or one that is just looks kind of like this, and it's just about your authentic voice. So you complete each assignment. The first one is just sending me an email, setting some goals for the semester, and then make a discussion board post, standard introduction discussion board you've probably done in other classes, and then a review of the writing process. So we've got 2 textbooks under this vital source link right here, and when you open that up, it'll bring up rules for writers and patterns for college writing. So you can get into, both of these are ebooks that you can get into. Patterns is the one that we'll probably look at more often just because it is our reader for the class, and so it includes a chapter on the different styles of writing that you'll be doing, and lots of examples and stuff like that. So that's pretty easy to navigate here on the side. You can go through each chapter and kind of expand each section, and you can also put in the page number here, and the readings will have the page numbers listed and that kind of thing. So if you're ever confused, let me know. The other book that we have is actually just an open resource textbook, which means it's not through Vital Source, and it's called A Writer's Guide to Mindful Reading. We aren't using the whole book, but you will be looking through like the first 3 strategies, or first three chapters on strategies for reading and understanding how you read, and what is the best way to read and that kind of thing. And that's just an addition to what we would normally do in the Comp 1 classroom. So you're going to need that book. You'll come back to it several times. I think we're doing 5 mindful reading exercises. So you have here academic honesty quiz, which covers stuff that was up here in the academic honesty module, and then just an information page about the mindful reading, which is just how to get back in here, and then what are some things that you should be looking at. And then I like to post a video usually if there's information that if you're kind of a visual or auditory learner, I like to post videos to help you out. And then the first mindful reading exercise. So the first mindful reading exercise is just asking you to reflect back on 2 things that you've read. The first thing is something that you read that you thought was easy to read. So, you didn't really have to think about it. You just kind of read it, and what did you get out of it and how did you go through it is what you're reflecting on. And then the second thing that you're going to reflect on is something that you found difficult to read. So whether that was because of the language that was used, or because of you just had to, maybe you were in an environment that was really chaotic and it was hard to concentrate. So what is it that made it difficult to read through? There's just some examples in there as well. So you're going to reflect on both instances. So you'll have like two short paragraphs, maybe about 6 sentences or so, just about the prompt, and then turn that in as your first mindful reading exercise. So you'll see these throughout the semester. We're going to be doing and kind of building on your reading skills that way. So that's the first module. You can see a lot of introductory stuff. It should not take you very long to complete these. If you have questions, you can always send me an email. If you're struggling or lost or can't find something, send me an email. My cell phone is also on the first page. If you want to send me a text message, you're more than welcome to. Or you can call my office number. So like I said, if you have any questions, look forward to reading your introduction emails, and have a great week.